Honorable Chairman of this all-important Committee on Political Parties Matters of the 10th Assembly, Honorable Zakaria Dauta Yampa, and his deputy, my honorable colleagues, the Executive Director of Yaga Africa, our friend Samson Itodo, the representative of our most Reverend Father Kuka at the Kuka Center, our chairman of IPAC, other distinguished guests, good morning. This is a very important day in the life of the 10th Assembly because we have it that this particular bill will serve as one of our signature of the 10th Assembly House of Reps by the grace of God. Just as the Not Too Young to Run become a signature of the 8th Assembly, I will say kudos to Yaga Africa and the House of Representatives. On this, I, Honorable Dr. Ishaya David Lalu, to represent the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, PhD, GCON, and the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, on this technical workshop organized for a bill, an act to establish what we call an independent authority for the registration, regulation, and funding of political parties in Nigeria and related matters. It is my pleasure to join the chairman and members of this Committee on Political Matters to welcome you to this important workshop organized by the committee to facilitate an in-depth conversation and understanding on the bill for an act to provide independent authority for the registration, regulation, and funding of political parties in Nigeria and related matters. I commend the House Committee and our partners, including the Kuka Center, Yaga Africa, for supporting this workshop. The issue of political party funding, or what constitutes political party membership, obligations, and funding, has long been a talking point in Nigeria. The decision of the House to initiate discussion through the consideration of the bill is a response to the popular demand that political parties should function as a true agent of democratic consolidation in our nation, Nigeria. The House of Representatives deliberated on the above-named bill and subsequently referred it to the Committee on Political Matters for further actions. In the tradition of legislative practice, when a bill is referred to the Committee for further legislative action, it is expected that the committee will organize a public hearing to allow people to make necessary inputs on the bill. That is a part of political participation in legislative process. However, I understand that today's event is a workshop intended to provide an opportunity for a deeper understanding of the content of the bill to allow the expert analysts to analyze before the committee hold a public hearing. This is indeed commendable, and I once again thank the Kuka Center and the Yaga Africa for the support provided for this process. It underscored the relevance of the proposal before the House. Distinguished guests, indeed, one of the basic tenets of democracy is the formation and organization of political parties. Democratic practice requires that those interested in the contesting of public offices belong to political parties, which are the platform through which people contest and win elections, just as honorable members sitting here. Except in the countries where there is provision for independent candidacy, that may be different. altogether. But in the like of Nigeria, we don't have. Thus, political parties become vehicles for the control of political power in a democracy. However, in Nigeria, reverse is the case. We must admit that the political parties in Nigeria are not founded on any principle or ideology. And in the attitude and performance of the parties indicate clearly that they have no foundation. A conglomerate or a conglomerations of people with a common interest in power sharing is not the same as promoting ideology. One of the basic reasons for the existence of law is for the good order and organization of society. An unregulated political party environment is open to abuse and could become an instrument for destabilization and destructions of social order. The restoration of political parties entails regulation to ensure discipline and financial management limits. It is right that those who register political parties must also find reasons to regulate their activities, especially their funding. This bill is meant to bridge this gap in our legislation. The bill proposed that the registration and regulation of political parties will promote transparency and accountability, separate the regulatory functions from the government control, and domicile it in an independent body that will not be partisan in holding political party accountable for things like campaign financing and the sources. It has not been said that such regulation will promote fairness and impartiality, as an independent body will strictly apply the rules and continually mete out punishments for transgressions. This is expected to promote public trust in the political party system and improve governance, as the people will become active founders of their political parties. Perhaps, too, it will reduce corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, even though we practice the same presidential system of government as United States, the registration and regulation of political parties funding make a huge difference between Nigeria and United States of America. In the United States, the Federal Election Commission regulates campaign finances and oversees aspects of party registrations. In the United Kingdom, the Electoral Commission oversees party registration, campaign finances, and electoral process. Sweden also has a well-established agency for party registration and party finance regulation, the INEC, and the boss has the power to register political parties, but there is need to strengthen the legislation. In some instances, political party funding in Nigeria is taken over by wealthy individuals as investments. Those who make the investment, either as businessmen or politicians, hijack the political parties or impose candidates on the party during the electoral process. There cannot be okay, very important. There cannot be a democracy where there is no internal democratic process through which candidates for election emerge at the level of political parties. This is why I consider this technical workshop very important, and we must find ways to make party politics serve the purpose of politics, not wealth creation for its managers. Like Socrates, the Greek philosopher, said, an unexamined life is not worth living. It therefore follows that as we review our party registration and regulation processes, we must also be able to fashion the new logic that support whatever decision that we must take in advancing the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of an independent electoral body for the registration, regulation, and funding of political parties in Nigeria. In this process, we must gauge the view of people of Nigeria and use our position in the parliament to amplify their voices. And that is why we are members of the House of Representatives. I do not doubt that many Nigerians will be appreciative of this law. However, we must be able to balance sentiments and logics. This will guide us towards making the best decision for our country, which we will believe must transition from complete governmental country and regulation to independent regulations. Honorable colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the future is for us to perfect. Let us make the most of this technical workshop and create the necessary input that would advance the work of the House through the Committee on Political Matters in the best interest of our dear country, Nigeria. I urge you to participate actively and freely in the conversation and add your voice to the process, either for the bill or against the bill. As it is, you are a critical stakeholder in this journey. It is in recognition of the critical role you play in this process that the Italian House of Representatives create this opportunity for all of us. Once again, I thank the Committee on Political Party Matters, our development partners, the Yaga Africa, and the Kuka Center for making this interaction possible. As I declare this workshop open, the House look forward to receiving the outcome of further legislative action on this bill. Thank you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Your voice is so vibrant. We may